Hey family, welcome back to another episode of O to Be Whole. How are you today? Glad to have you with me. To my new viewers, hello and welcome. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being here with us on today. And then to my holy rollers, hi. Always glad to have you here with me, okay? Again, remember that I do have my life coach certification. I like to call it my holistic wellness coaching. If you're interested in getting some coaching, please reach out to me at otobewhole@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at otobewhole.com and reach out to me. I would love to work with you, okay? All right. Again, the book is almost here. Say almost here. Almost here. It's almost in your hands, guys. So yes, I'm excited. All right, we'll be talking about that in the next few weeks as well, about the book. All right, so let's go into today's topic. Today's topic is compatibility. Opposites attract, but eventually repel. Okay? You know, when we think about relationships, you know, one of the things that we talk about is you want to be with somebody who you're compatible with. All right. You want to be with somebody who, you know, y'all have a similar likes. You may have some differences. Of course, you're going to have some differences because you're from different backgrounds. But, you know, there are some things that you like to do. But there's also a thought of, you know, opposites attracting, which when you think about the laws of science, you know, opposites do attract. The negative and the positive, you know, that brings about power, all right? The negative and the positive connecting. But when we're thinking about relationships, when we're talking about human nature, I tend to believe that, yes, opposites do attract, but eventually they repel. That thought came to me after reading a book. Actually, the thought didn't come to me. It came to me in a book. It was a book entitled Lies at the Altar by Dr. Robin Smith years ago. This was in the early to mid 2000s when she wrote the book. And I remember purchasing that book. And one of the lines in the book was, opposites attract, but eventually repel. And I remember thinking like, because, you know, it's always, you know, you got the song, we come together because opposites attract. I think that was Paula Abdul or something like that. But anyway, you know, that's kind of been the going thought that, you know, opposites attract. It makes life more exciting when you're with somebody that's completely opposite of you and all of that. And to a point, that is true. That is true. But over time, opposites end up repelling. Okay? They end up breaking up. They end up pulling each other apart. Because, you know, when someone is on one extreme and you're on the next and there's very little room to meet in the middle, how can you really, really build something? Okay? Here's an example. When we think about love languages, if you have a person who needs physical touch, okay, let's just say physical touch is their top love language, but you have a person, but the person that they're dating, they don't really like that physical touch. They're not into, you know, providing physical touch, you know, outside of maybe sex or whatever or something like that. But just, you know, the physical touch when you're sitting next to somebody and putting your hand on their arm or on their leg or on their face or, you know, those types of things. If you're dating somebody who does not meet that standard of needing that physical touch, of you needing that physical touch, eventually that's going to be a problem. You know, that's going to be a problem. If you're dating somebody whose top love language is quality time, okay? Quality time. But you're dating somebody who likes to be in their own space. They you know, they like to do things, but they don't like to do it with you all the time, okay? And it's not so much about being overbearing or anything like that, but you like being around that person and spending time, quality time with them. That doesn't mean hours and hours a day. But, you know, if it's only a 15-minute conversation that you have in the day, quality time, that's the key term, quality time. But you have the person that you're with, they're really not that type of person. They prefer to watch television, or they prefer to, not necessarily be in your presence. And it's nothing wrong with either of those things. But if you are unable to meet in the middle, I did a video several weeks ago talking about being sacrificial. If you're not willing to be sacrificial in the relationship, these braces are still, baby, I be working them though. If you're not willing to be sacrificial, then your opposites will repel. Okay? If you're dating someone that's completely opposite of you, or you're married to someone that is completely opposite of you, and they're not willing to give and you're not willing to give, it's not gonna work, y'all. That is not compatibility. I believe the greatest form of compatibility is when you have more alike than you do different. Now, that does not mean you want somebody that is a clone of you, or somebody that is exactly like you. I don't think that, because you do need to have some things that are different about you, but the big things, the most important things, what you believe about family, what you believe about finances, what you believe about marriage, what you believe about children, those major things, you need to be alike, okay? You need to believe very similarly. Your belief system should be very similar, because if not, it's going to tear you apart. It's going to tear you apart. And I think we get caught up in, what people say, what these common themes that people say about what relationships should be, and opposites attracting and all of that. And that's not necessarily true. That is not, again, they may attract, but over time, if there is no compromise, if there's no sacrifice, they will repel, and your relationship will end. And we don't want relationships to end. We're looking for lifelong relationships. And that's why I want to talk about these things, because a lot of people still go into relationships understanding that, in the first 6 months, those opposites, and maybe even the first year or two, the opposites may seem exciting because it's something that, you've never done before. Or they do things that, that make you feel excited. But over time, if those things are not things that you have adapted to or adopt in your life, they begin to get on your nerves. Those very things that may have caused you to fall in love with that person could be the very thing that ends up getting on your nerves and you not liking them anymore, and vice versa. All right. So let's make sure that as we go into relationships, because, it's always, I'm talking about healthy relationships, it's always good in the beginning. It's always good in the beginning, but you've got to pay attention. Pay attention to those signs of things that, that are kind of out there that you kind of don't believe in, or that you don't like, or something that you wouldn't necessarily want to participate in, that could actually change, the structure of your family, the structure of your relationship. So be mindful of that, and don't get caught up. That's why I don't think, it don't take all day to get to know somebody, but I do think we have to be observant, and not get caught up in the first couple months and be like, oh, he the one, she the one, when no, that's fun right now. But, a year or two from now, it may not be as fun. It may not be as exciting. It may not be, the thing that you love about him. I remember I've mentioned her several times in my video, Miss Glenda. She said, she used to say, God rest her soul, she used to say, when you first meet somebody, you just want to eat them up. She said, but after a few years, you say, I wish I would have ate that man up. Because they've got on your nerves so bad, or that the thing that you thought you loved so much about them, it no longer gives you that feeling. It's not what you thought. Okay. So again, think about that. When you were thinking about compatibility, yes, the opposites are good. It starts out good, but make sure those opposites don't cause you to repel later, or both people are willing to make the compromises and the sacrifices to ensure that relationship works over time. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Oh to Behold. Again, be sure to hit like, share, and put comments down in that comment section. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here to the channel, as well as go to my website, ohtobehold.com, if you want life coaching support, want to purchase any apparel, as well as the book, okay? All of that will be down in the description, okay? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode, and until next time, God bless.